Hey everybody, Josh RV Nerd with Bish's RV, and this thing behind me right here, I think some people are going to consider almost a nearly ideal couples camping travel trailer. This is from the Forest River Surveyor Legend Group, and this model comes in just under 30 feet with weights and measures and specs and everything that will generally work for a lot of late model tow package half tons, but it gives us a theater seat facing the entertainment center the way that you want it, dedicated dining space, but you could actually swap the dinette for a hide-a-bed or even a second theater seat if you wanted. And the way that they accomplish the kitchen on this one, they're one of the very few who have ever attempted a layout like this that actually have decent countertop prep space and a really good pantry because it's buried behind the entertainment center, which is what I call a pantry-tainment center. They are carpetless and ventless flooring. They're 6'9" tall, so if you're a little bit bigger like me, you can actually stand in the shower, not to mention the whole rig looks and feels a little bit nicer while you're inside. The bathroom is very nicely sized with a rectangular shower and some huge bonus storage in there, whether it's for bathroom linens or a bonus backup closet space. The bathroom has a lot of action going on. Very private bedroom with a true queen bed and some fantastically executed headboard power pockets. You can option this 50 amp. It is capable of accepting a second air conditioner if you do that. So if you live in the hot climates, this one can still service you. Speaking of heat, the underbelly's enclosed and forced air heated and has tank heaters standard on these. Goodyear tires with TPMS. 400 watts of factory standard solar now, and some inverter prep action going on if you are so inclined. Little mini camp kitchen, and a partridge in a pear tree. This is an absolutely phenomenal floor plan. This is one of those that, like, if it hits my nerd preferred list. If it was just me and my wife and the two of us going out, this is one that I would definitely have on my personal consideration sheet. But like any RV, it's got ups and downs and in-betweens, and I want to share the good with the bad, let you decide if it's the right one for you or not, and if you appreciate that, hit that subscribe button, and let's go. So starting with the view of the entry door right there, just to help you kind of catch your bearings a little bit, it does kind of highlight the fact that campsite window coverage is maybe not this RV's strong suit, but it does so many things so well. I don't know that I care necessarily. Again, this is one that's on my personal nerd preferred hit list. I think this is an awesome floor plan that is executed fantastically. We've got theater love seating right here, which I prefer because I like to be right up next to my wife. She does prefer more of the population control variety just because I do tend to be a bit smothery. I'm sure you can't imagine that at all, that I'm over the top about things. But hey, the little extra side stand right there, maybe you could put a drink on it, but it's there basically to give you some power outlets to service that sofa, which I think is a really smart call. You can see how we obviously have a privacy wall for that front bedroom. We're at the back of the RV facing forward. I'm sure you've discerned that, but I don't normally do that, so I want to point this out. And I also want to mention we're 6'9" tall from floor to ceiling, which is another thing that I really like. This up here is a 15,000 BTU air conditioner standard, but one of the cool things here, by default, this RV is single air with 30 amp service. However, any Surveyor Legend series with a private bedroom, such as this one, can be optioned 50 amp service. So this is second air capable if you are so inclined. You obviously have some really awesome panoramic window covers there around the dinette, although that's on the camp side of the driver's side of the RV, not the camp side of the RV. This is very pet friendly. I've got a dog and a cat. That's one of those things that I always kind of look for. It doesn't necessarily have a best dedicated place for like a cat litter box. I don't think people generally realize how common cat campers are. I think when you hear pet camping, everyone's like, oh, you got a dog? The number of cat campers out there are really curious. I'd be kind of curious. If you're willing, leave me a comment. Let me know if you camp with a pet, or if not, and what kind of pet. And I think it might be kind of enlightening for everybody to sort of buzz through the comments and see the variety of things. Like there's cats and birds and lizards and more than just dogs and husbands when you start factoring in pet camping, ladies and gentlemen. So if you plop over here at the theater love seat, you're straight on from the entertainment center. I do think the TVs may be mounted a little high, but that's the only nitpick that I have. That cabinet right there, it feels like that could have been an electric space heating fireplace. I think there is room for it. So let me ask you folks at home, is that a feature you feel would have been handy and beneficial for this floor plan? Or are you okay with how it is? Because understand, it's going to cost a couple $100 to have one of those put in this RV. So is a couple $100 of juice worth the squeeze effectively? Now, looking over here at the kitchen, this is probably the area where I think they've separated themselves from other people who have attempted a floor plan like this the most in the past. We've got that central vacuum cleaner, which they're one of maybe a half dozen travel trailer brands that standard have a central vac. That's usually a higher end fifth wheel feature, but the fact is they are really handy. But by getting the pantry out of this area, they were able to extend the kitchen countertop. And while it doesn't have wraparound fifth wheel full-time living kitchen space, for a just under 30-foot tip to tail, tongue to bumper camper size, I think that's pretty cool. And based on your feedback, they went to a bigger, was like 21, 22-inch oven now, as compared to the previous 15, 16-inch Easy Bake oven. So they really have been listening to your feedback and dialing things in here and there wherever they had the opportunity. They generally are also very good about not letting an ounce of space go to waste. Like above the microwave, there's really not a lot of space there, but they at least allowed it to be a spice rack, and they put like that little traveling stretchy band on there so that your cinnamon and sugar don't fall down all over the place. Anybody else like cinnamon sugar toast? Because, I'm a child. That's something that I look for. Now, with the taller ceiling, they were able to go taller kitchen in here, and they really did a heck of a job, I think, maximizing all the storage capability they could. My only nitpick on the kitchen, really, is that under the sink they went full shelving, which is cool for max storage, but it also means that you don't have a dedicated wastebasket place, and that's just one of those little things that I try to tend to look for myself. Did you notice, by the way, that your sink cover for that farm sink also doubles as a side splash for the stovetop if you need it, and that little hook behind there, you can actually store the cutting board sink cover out of the way when you're not using it. Another thing that was based on your feedback, they used to put their control panel all the way up to the ceiling. And I like the idea that it's away from little kid fingers, but at the same time, not everybody's as tall as me. And some people are like, I don't want to have to get a two-step stool every time I want to open the awning. So they brought it down where I think more people can reach it, but kids who shouldn't be messing with it generally cannot. Overall, I think they made some really smart decisions here. And again, it's the fine detail execution of this that I really like. Like, I love it when the slide floor and the main floor match. Visually, I just find that really appealing, and they didn't put like a dark trim ring around it. It's just really clean overall. Something that you can't really see, because again, they kind of cleaned this up over the last couple of years, is notice how they got rid of the boxy window treatments, and we've gone to blackout roller shades all the way around in this thing right here. So it actually has a lot of privacy when you need it, where you need it. And the windows are all tinted from the outside as well. So if you want to make sure you're either keeping the nosy neighbors from looking in during the day, or you just want to keep the sunshine from baking you can. I'll tell you that if somebody's outside and you have the lights on inside at night, you can still see straight through those windows. So don't go gallivanting around here in your birthday suit unless you're intentionally looking to put on a free show and cause a stir in the campground. Kind of keep that in mind. One of the other really excellent qualities of this RV, though, is that when you're sitting on the theater seat, you can have a dedicated staring contest with who's ever on the toilet back there. And what you do is you maintain eye contact until one of them looks away. And that is how you establish dominance. It's very important you don't show fear, ladies and gentlemen. You show fear and it's over. They can smell it, I'm telling you. Speaking of smelling it, there's excellent space around the toilet. That's possibly the worst segue of my entire career, or arguably the best. I'm not really sure how you quantify that. This does have a sliding pocket privacy door. You can see how it's nicely strapped off to the side there. Not a lot of counter space in this bathroom, but at least you do have a dedicated sink for your bathroom hands, not in the kitchen. Now, this is a rectangular shower, and with this being a taller ceiling camper, what that means is that, like, if you're a little over 6 foot like me, you can stand very cleanly in that shower without even needing the skylight. So let me ask you, do you still think it should include a skylight since it's extra tall? I'm kind of on the fence on that. Now, if you're 6'3", 6'4", and taller than me, you're still going to want that skylight, but you know, the average person, you could get away with having a giant hole in your roof membrane effectively. And look at this, guys. Once again, based on your feedback, they outfitted this with the bigger vent fan. No more dollar store 4-inch fart fan in this thing. They are hooking you up with the ventilation and airflow that basically you want and you need. But if you look over on the left side of this thing right here, you see that it has some awesome additional storage space in this bathroom. Whether it's going to be linens or overflow pantry space or an extra closet or whatever you want, you can really rack, pack, and stack a lot of crap in this thing. Did you notice, by the way, in the main pantry behind the entertainment center, how the shelving had those cargo nets in there so your stuff didn't fall on the floor and the shelves didn't actually go all the way to the door? That's actually really, really useful. If you're looking at that for the first time, you're like, well, it's wasted storage. Well, if it was super, super deep, you'd have a really hard time reaching everything. It's deep enough that it's still super functional, but it leaves you room if you want like a broom or a place to put umbrellas or anything like that. You have the perfect kind of spot to do it. Now, something I should have done when we were looking at this earlier is pop that open and give you a look at it. So allow me to give you a quick look at the theater seat function right there. I think you get the idea. But they are basically wall huggers, so you don't have to wrestle the stupid chair away from the wall. And did you notice the overhead cabinets above that sofa? They are strutted, so they hold themselves open. They got that Bob Seger strut going on, as do the cabinets above the bed in the bathroom. Shoot, that was almost a good segue. But no, I said bathroom instead of bedroom. I hope you're not using the bathroom up here. The one that we're looking at today is the standard 30 amp service, but again, you can get 50 amp service. You can get a second air conditioner. It sacrifices that vent if you are so inclined. This bedroom, I think, has some really, really smart content execution. First of all, that's a 60 by 80 true queen bed. So, you know, taller people like me can fit on this very well. They also have a lot of power outlets going on. Like, you can see the power outlets visibly off the side here, but there's also, they have like 3-layer headboard power pockets we're going to look at in just a second. First of all, though, take a look at this. Quadruple dresser drawers down to the floors under an easy lift gas strutted bed, plus quadruple dresser drawers with 2 on each side of the bed, plus hanging wardrobe storage, plus the headboard pockets and the storage above the bed. And because this is a little bit taller camper, that overhead cabinet above the bed, you'd have to literally like sit up on your knees to hit your head on that. It is super, super functional space. And yeah, when you look at this, it's a little boxy and vanilla looking, but you know what? Boxy storage is functional storage. When things have a cool radius and triangular shape, you can't really use it very effectively. That is space you can actually use, and they didn't leave it an open shelf. They fully enclosed it. Just chef's kiss going on for that stuff right there. Another cool thing, you've got little power cord feed ports over here in these side stands. So if you want to keep your phone down below that shelf, you can. If you want to keep it above, or if you want like a little side standing fan, like a little mini fan blowing right in your face, got a perfect little spot to do that. You do have TV hookups here in the bedroom. I also want to point out as we turn around, some manufacturers who tout no floor vents, once you start getting into bedrooms and bathrooms, you start seeing floor vents again. Surveyor has really done the work to make sure that they have space to run all that stuff so that it's not a problem. I really think this is a brand that does not get the credit they deserve, and I think that this is a floor plan that is dialed in better than almost anything else in their lineup. Now, that is a big, deep rack and pinion slide, by the way, which is what a lot of people prefer for reliability factors. The only knock on this one in road mode is that you really should not sit in a rack and pinion slide while it's retracted. But considering how easy it is to get through this RV, to get from the bedroom to the bathroom and back again with the slide closed, I still think that this gets like an A- for road mode, and it crushes the Cracker Barrel stopover test. And if you appreciate how we take the time to show this for you, hit that subscribe button, because you folks continue to drive this channel. And in terms of towing and going, she comes in, we're just going to say 30 foot for the sake of argument, technically slightly less, but basically 30 feet. And with really, I think, reasonably respectable cargo carry capacity given the size of the RV, by using things like a lot of laminated aluminum framing in the rear walls, the side walls, and the floor, using Asdel in both side walls and front and rear, just below the fiberglass. They've been able to keep some weight shaved out of this thing. And, you know, if you have a late model tow package half ton, you're probably going to find this one nicely within your capacity. Now, I want to add a caveat to that. If you're going to go through crazy wind country, if you're going to go up and down some serious mountains, you may want to step that vehicle up a notch. It really depends just as much on where you're going to go as what you're going to tow with. Now, I don't want to confuse you. You're going to see two of these little griddle boxes in this video today. Only one is included with the RV. We just kind of have one set up as a demo, and then that one in the pass-through actually ships with the RV. Did you catch that big front pass-through though? Magnet latches and slam latches, magnet catches and slam latches rather. There's actually some USB plugs up there, including a Type-C plug. So if you want to keep your phone charged up or rocking outside, you can keep on rocking in the free world, as it were. My band used to play that song. It only lasted 47 minutes. I actually found out you can watch the entire Lord of the Rings extended cut trilogy in the time it takes you to play one Keep on Rockin' in the Free World. And if you know that song, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the wreck of the Ella Fitzgerald. It just keeps going, but it's pretty good tune. It doesn't bother me. Great awning space on this one. Let me segue back to the RV. You don't care. The door is dead in the middle of the awning, which is really one of the more ideal locations for it. Those are also Goodyear endurance radials with tire pressure monitoring factory standard on these. And notice just below that little amber light out here, you do have a stovetop vent exhaust hood, so the hot air from cooking does go outside the RV. What I like here is even the little mini camp kitchen door, even that has a magnet catch and everything. And their magnet catches, by the way, are the variety that will, like, they have a pin that automatically holds themselves so they don't accidentally fall on your head in the wind. And their mini camp kitchenette here, they've done a good job of not occupying a ton of space while still giving us some really good function. Oh shoot. There's a little plastic sink insert. It's basically, it's what I call the dog dish sink that slots into here. But what that lets them do is it puts the cooker to the side of Dad's medicine cabinet. So if you want to get your bottled water and your barley pop, you can do so without burning your chesticles reaching over the thing. The little mini sink, yeah, it doesn't drain out, but it's I guess better than nothing. And if you don't like it, I've actually seen people put miniature like trash cans in there. Just don't get crazy overloading them. They've also updated to a full hot cold outside utility shower instead of the cold sprayer only, again based on your input. And last year they didn't have quite the same griddle situation, so they continue to listen to the feedback that you're offering. She is prepped and ready for a telescopic removable ladder with a walkable roof. And let's talk solar. Last year, they upgraded from 100 to 200 watts of factory standard solar. Technically, it's still 200 watts of factory standard solar. However, they currently have this thing going on that it sounds like it might stick around for a while, where essentially you're getting a second solar panel at no additional charge from the factory. So 400 watts of solar is not technically standard, but it's kind of standard on these right now. But that is something, if you watch this video a year from now, it might go away. I don't know. And by the way, you do have, oh, that's a terrible shadow. There we go. You do have an accessory hitch on the back here if you want to lug along some bikes. One of the other really cool things about this floor plan, if I back up, it is a single sewer outlet. But notice how they're not hanging down all the way down by the ground where they're about to get ripped off. It actually really tucks up here very nicely, but you don't have to have like two sets of sewer hookups. Did you catch that motion light kick on? Something that you can't see though, you can see the underbelly's enclosed. It's also forced air heated, has radiant barrier and holding tank heaters. That's a nice multi-step combo to give you some solid extended season capability off these. Now, whether you're curious or whether you're serious about how much one of these is running, check the link in our video description. It will take you to our website. Any of these that we have in stock will have pricing available for you right there. And remember, we don't do hidden fees, just taxes and tags for whatever state you happen to reside in. And that's the only extra things that have to get applied to that price tag. We don't have extra get ready $3,000 camping package fees. We show you how it works. We have your propane filled, we do that stuff free of additional charge, basically. It's all part of the price tag. We put it right up front. I'll also leave you some links to maybe some similar floor plans from other builders if you kind of want to see a little bit of what else is out there. I'd love to know what you think about this one. You know, where'd they nail it? Where'd they fail it? The last 2 or 3 years, they've really been evolving based on your feedback. So keep that coming. Let's see if we can't keep making it better. And until next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.